Hi everyone, welcome to the SQL 50 series. Today we are going to solve the next question, which is gameplay analysis 4. In this question, we have a table called activity, and we have the columns player ID, device ID, event date, and games played, which basically tells us the data about the players, the device they used to log in, when did they log in, the date, and the number of games that they played. Now there is a possibility that they just logged in and they did not play any game. So in those cases, our games played value will be 0. Write a solution to report the fraction of players that logged in again on the day after the day they first logged in. So basically, we need to find out such players who logged in for 2 consecutive days, starting from the day they first, when they first logged in. Uh, so how we'll go about this question is that we'll divide it into multiple CTEs, where first of all we will find out uh, the like for each player some particular date when the event some event happened by that player, and when was the next day that any event happened by the same player. Next, we'll also find out the first logins for each player. This is important because the question particularly says we need to find out the day after they first logged in. So that's why this is very important. And then we can perform a join on these two parts to come back to our main answer. So let us start writing the query. I will call my the first table as activity CTE because here I am um, finding out the activity dates of each player. So let me do a select of, I will say, player ID because I definitely want to know the data for each player. Then I will see the event date. So on whichever day some event happened, then I need to find out by the same player when did the next event happen. So I can find out this by using the lead function. Lead function is comes under the section window functions, and if you I can briefly explain what why is window functions used. So when we want to find out the window of something, like what happened in future, what happened in past, and something which deals with next, previous, a particular percent of data, we can use window functions. And if uh, here we will be using the lead function, which is basically when we want to find out what happened next by this player, and on this event date what happened after that. But if you want me to make a video which is just about window functions, in which I can cover um, multiple window functions and how and when to use it, please let me know in the comments below. But yeah, like as we solve the questions in this series, I can definitely walk you through the different kind of window functions. Okay, so getting back to the function, so lead, in the bracket we need to write what do you like, w- lead of what, next of what. So ask the question what. So we want to find out what was the next date. Over here, we need to find out what was the next date, and that's why we will write event date. So lead of event date. So whatever happened on this date, after that, when did the next event, what was the next event date? So that's why I write lead of event date. Then I use the over and partition by. So you need to find out, you need to partition, like let's say you need to group the data for each player together. So this is your partition by player ID. And then you need to order your data by event date again. So because you want your data to get uh, you want to sort your data in according to the event date. That's why for the order by clause we are using event date here, and I will name it as next date. Okay, and then this is from table activity. So basically if you want to see what, oh, let me show you the output of this. Like this will definitely not go through when I hit run, but I want to show you the output of the simple code so that you know what I'm doing. Okay, so my output is for each player ID, what is the event date? So, like this is 1st March 2016, and the next day when some event was done by player one, which is 2nd of March 2016. Then again, I in for my next row, some event happened on 2nd March 2016, and what was the next day when something was done by player one? Like they have no data, like means player one did not log in again, so that's why the next date is null. Let's see for player 2. So they first logged in on 25th June 2017, but in the next date we have null, which means player 2 never logged back in again after they logged in first. And let's see a player 3. So they first logged in on 2nd March 2016, but after that the next activity date is 3rd of July 2018. So this is not consecutive. In the next CTE, we will have to find out the first login of each player. And why will we have to uh, break it down into two CTEs is because in my first CTE, I'm just finding out the events. I'm arranging it in ascending order, but yeah, I have the data for all the players and what happened on some day and what happened, like what was the date that when the next event happened. But I definitely also need to find out the first logins of each player. So I will find out the minimum event date of each player, and that is it for this CTE. All right. Now, what I need to find out is the I need to join the above two CTEs to find out the consecutive players. So what I will do, I will select my okay. Let's first let me tell you the how we'll do the join. So my join will be using activity CTE and uh, The next one is first login. Why I will do a inner join is that I just need to know if they log back in on the consecutive date or not, and I don't have to worry how many number of times did they log back in again. So I just need the first entries of each one of it, and that's why I will be performing an inner join. And this join will be on, let me alias is it as a and f. So it will be on a dot player id equals to f dot player id. And here I will have to put a date diff function. So date diff, basically it calculates the difference between the two dates. So it's so I need to find out the difference between the next date of each player and the minimum date. So basically, if I find out the minimum date, the difference between the minimum date and the next date, and if that difference equals to 1, which means my player logged in on the consecutive day. So next date comma min date equals to 1. And in my select statement, I need to find out the count of such players. So I could do count of distinct f dot player id. Okay. So now if you see in the question that we need to round up our answer up to two decimal places, and that's why we would have to this will be basically an integer, but we'll have to cast it as decimal right now uh, in order to get the uh, desired results. So we will cast it as decimal. Okay, and let me name it as player count. Okay, now we still haven't gone to the fraction part. This is just my numerator. To find out my denominator, let me name it as all count, and this will simply be my select count of distinct player id as all count from activity. All right, and my final answer is player count divided by all count. So I can do select player, what was player count, pl underscore count cnt. So select player count divided by all count, and um, they have told us that the um, header of our output should be fraction, so I will name it as fraction from consecutive and all count. So I told them the names of both the tables, and over here I will also have to round it up to two decimal places. Okay, so this is how this is the numerator part, this is the denominator part, and here in the final select statement we just did numerator by denominator and rounded up to two decimal places. Now let's run it and see if it succeeds or not. Test.all count doesn't exist. Mm, oh, so over here, my table name is all count and not. Okay, so this has passed. Now let us submit and see if all the test cases are passing or not. It did. Uh, okay, that was it for this question. Let me know if you want a better or a detailed explanation of some particular part of this video, and we will meet with the next question.